popping, Overwatch fans? We are live at the Blizzard Arena on Sunday in Los Angeles, where today we'll wrap up week 1 of our final stage in the 2019 Overwatch League season. The Shanghai Dragons are the Stage 3 champions, but they lost their first match of Stage 4 Thursday against the Titans. Today, they are back in the building to face the Seoul Dynasty. Seoul also lost their first match of the stage against San Francisco. Shanghai and Seoul are both trying to break back into our top 6 for an automatic playoff berth. They'll get their next chance in 30 minutes. Welcome to the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. I'm your humble and gracious host, Malik Forte, joined by Zoe, Brent, and Sideshow. Guys, last day of the first week. This week went by kind of fast, at least for me.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you only
I've only been here a couple of days. What about for you guys?
It was, though, because every single game was really interesting because you're always getting a read on what the teams are doing and how they're evolving, and everything changes from game to game. So even the games that weren't that competitive was still compelling to watch.
Yeah, I think we had some of the longest days here in the Overwatch League, but definitely also entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why it didn't really feel terrible at the end of the day.
It tends to happen, though, as well. You get into these new metas, teams don't really know how to play, and then they end up just going to the map 5s and taking it to the distance.
Yeah.
Apparently every day. So,
More today as well.
I bet everybody's power rankings are just trash.
Oh, they're going
It's just a big circle, honestly.
Right.
It's a big circle.
A huge circle. Well, guys, we're getting you set for a huge day here on Watchpoint because Prophet, Bumper, DM, and several other Overwatch League superstars will be lighting up our Blizzard Arena stage as we put a bow on the first week of Stage 4. Plus, it's our first ever Watchpoint game night. Not sure how Puckett got the hosting gig over me, but I'm sure it'll be fun to watch. And from new heroes to new facial hairstyles, it's been a memorable week 1. We'll relive the best moments in emote control. Look at Poco, stash, I love it. But guys, 4 huge matches for you today, culminating with the Boston Uprising against the Chengdu Hunters. Before that, Vancouver takes on Florida, London battles Toronto, and we'll kick things off with our match of the week. The Shanghai Dragons and Seoul Dynasty both come into this match at 12 and 10 for the season, but the Dynasty have a plus 14 map differential lead. The Dragons and Dynasty each have 6 matches remaining, and 2 of them are against each other. How can the Stage 3 champion Dragons start to make up some of that map differential, and more importantly, get the victory, Sideshow?
I think a lot of it is going to be on Envy. This new player, well, he's not a new player. We've seen him all throughout 2018, in fact. But he's new to the Shanghai Dragons starting roster. And that's because they previously ran a triple DPS lineup, including Youngjin, who would come in and play a bunch of the other roles for them, stuff like the Roadhog and this kind of stuff. But they can't really do that anymore. It's locked, it's 2-2-2, and they need to be able to run the Diva at the same time, which is why they've brought in Envy to play that role. And previously, Shanghai had all 3 of those players just popping off all the time. Now they can only really have 2. So it's on Envy to step up his game, level up. They need him to be a carry, not just a serviceable off-tank, if they want to have those same kind of performances they did to win Stage 3.
Well, last stage, Shanghai were known for their flashy Pharah gameplay, right? The style that they played around, which is Ding's Pharah. And they're kind of doing the same again in this stage, despite the fact that no one else is playing Pharah overall. I mean, the guy is a phenomenal player, but look at his Pharah usage as well, you can see. They're currently playing at 26.2% of the time compared to 3.1%, which is the league average. Nobody's playing this hero anymore, but Ding is so good, they're making it work. And I kind of like it as well. It plays into Ding's strengths. You get double shield break as well. You put DM on the hand, so you got so much pressure and damage that you can just slam into the Orisa shields. They are making it work slowly in their own way. And I'm gonna be finding it interesting if they're gonna continue kind of like using this play style, or are they just going to succumb to the meta and play what everyone else is running, which is like the May, the Reaper on control maps?
Right, they've always made the meta their own, so we'll see what they do. But on the other side, so the Dynasty were able to take the first map against the Shock. So what went well for them in that map that they actually won?
Well, I think one name is pretty much the answer to that, and that is Fitz. He on the Reaper tore through the lines of the San Francisco Shock. The Reaper, yeah, that's right. You heard me. You heard me. Reaper is back, and so is Fitz. And he had a phenomenal game on that Reaper. Now, unfortunately, Reaper, even though he is seeing kind of a resurgence when it comes to picks, it's still very map specific. So let's take a look at what maps we're going to see today. We're kicking things off with Ilios. Yeah, you can play Reaper there. It's not as great as Busan, for example, but still, as far as control maps go, I think Reaper can be played pretty much on any of them. Now, with the other maps, however, here in the lineup, not so much. Anubis depends on where we're at in the map. Same for Hollywood. Junkertown, I wouldn't recommend it at all. So overall, they will again have to rely on Fleta coming in instead of Fitz to play that Widowmaker, etc., or potentially even a Pharah, and make it work for them. So I very much hope we see a little bit more out of the rest, and not just Fitz Reaper carrying on control.
All right. I'm hoping for a Reaper appearance. I'm always down for that. But guys, the Florida Mayhem are the only team that has yet to make an appearance here in Stage 4. And they might be in for a rude welcoming when they do today, because they're going against the first place Vancouver Titans in our third match today. The Titans got past Shanghai on Thursday, avenging their loss from the Stage 3 semifinals. Some people weren't sure how the Ghost Masters from Vancouver would fare under Rolock in Stage 4, but Zoe, were you impressed with what you saw?
Actually, yeah. It seems like we worried for nothing. Vancouver still look very strong. Yes, they don't look as smooth, not as coordinated as they did when we played 3-3 meta. However, they still have, of course, a lot in their team, which makes it work for them. And one of those things will be Haxel on Genji. Finally, we get to see him on those damage dealing heroes, and it's been an absolute blast to watch. He has such a phenomenal impact. If you're looking at those numbers, whether he's getting his Dragon Blade up or not, they still have an above 50% win rate to begin with when Genji is in the lineup. So they are heavily relying on Haxel to pop off with or without that Dragon Blade.
Hawk and Slash. I like to call it that. Haxel.
He's so good.
He's nuts on that Genji. One of the
is
best I've
absolutely
seen,
nuts.
I think. Yeah.
How old
All
is
right,
he?
so
What kid is he?
Well, he's still pretty young, yeah. I think he's only 19. So yeah.
Really? Really?
Oh, I think he might even be 18. Like the guy's
What?
super young.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
He wasn't eligible for play last year.
What am I doing with my life?
Got a bright future. Got a bright
Beat
future
it
ahead
back.
of him. All right, well, the Mayhem are already out of the season playoff race, as we all know. But can some of their new players help them play spoiler a little bit here in Stage 4?
Yeah, I mean, this is the last place team going up against the first place team, but I don't think it'll feel like it once we actually get into the match. The Florida Mayhem, we've been teasing this rebuild for the entirety of the season, it feels like, but they finally have 12 players on the roster, 12 players here, 12 players that they could field. And I think that there are some genuine players that will make a difference now that we're in roll-up. The trio of players that they picked up most recently, Karrion, Gargoyle, and DPI, were more GOAT-centric. I'll be real with you. But I do think that they'll see play, particularly Gargoyle over Zephyr, who had some resurgence recently, but not the largest. And once they actually start to find out what the best roster of these players what the best combination is, then I think they could start to make moves, especially when they've got somebody like Sire Player in there, who's just a bit of a nut.
Yeah, you say that, but the interesting thing as well is Ben, our stats guy in the back, recently cooked up a little formula to kind of rate the players, the player impact rating. And Sire Play was sitting at the bottom of this list in terms of his play, mainly because he has been playing his comfort role, which is the Widowmaker. Last season, this guy was an absolute, I want to say freak of nature, but I'm overusing that term these days. But he really excelled on this role. I know I did. But he had some iconic moments on Widowmaker. Like, everyone remembers this 4K as well. This is just unreal. The ability of him to just, I don't know, it's something we haven't really seen in such a long time. Maybe he's being contested these days by some Widowmakers in the league, like Happy, like Diem. But overall, this has always been his bread and butter, and we are moving into a Widowmaker meta now.
Well, hopefully Sire Player and the Florida Mayhem can make this one competitive, but maybe even as competitive as our first ever Watchpoint game night. These analysts team up with Hex to take on Super Baby Baylingster and Gods and some of everyone's favorite party games. That's coming up next on the Watchpoint pre-show. Stay tuned.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Man, I love that song. But guys, the grand finals are coming to Philadelphia's Wells Fargo Center on September 29th. Head to OverwatchLeague.com and get your tickets now for the biggest Overwatch event in the world this year. On July 28th, 2018, the London Spitfire completed an historic run from the 5th seed to win our first ever grand finals at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. It seems like just a year ago, we were partying like kings with the Spitfire in the Big Apple. Well, that's because it was actually exactly 1 year ago today. The reigning champions take on Toronto today. Zoe, are they getting back into championship form?
Oh, they absolutely are. I think everyone expected them to look really, really good in this meta. And so far, they have not been disappointing. Every single player is stepping up their game, and they look very comfortable in that 2-2-2 roll-out. Across the board, we're seeing standout performances, really. And it's not just Birdring and Prophet, the damage-dealing duo from the London Spitfire, who are carrying all the weight. It is partially also due to this incredible strong tank line with Gesture and Fury, who can play such a fantastic, not just Orisa and Hawk combo, but also with Fury on the Diva. It still looks very, very scary. And there's just so much cohesion on this team, which other teams are currently lacking in this meta, which puts them all the way on top for me personally.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned as well as the tank line of London, because I really do think that this is not even the glue, this is the foundation of this team and where they really excel. Yeah. And it's Gesture. I mean, this guy is having a return to form back in 2018. Part of the reason this team was so successful was because of his proficiency on the Orisa, using the Holt ability to maximum effectiveness, setting up the kills, the Dragon Strikes, pulling people away, denying the reses. I mean, he's got it all. And this is what he was so good at last year. And now we're seeing a very similar meta develop this year, right now. I mean, it's almost like deja vu in a way. Like, I'm half expecting London to, again, make a run for the finals.
Defend that championship,
it could certainly happen. And one of the guys that's going to help them get there is Fury as well. It seems like he just comes out clutch every single time he plays. Whenever he's on the Diva, sure, we already know that he's amazing. But on his Roadhog, he's really excelling. And not just with the foundation, like you were saying, Brent, of the whole hook combos and this kind of stuff. Yes, he can play steady. But also, when the fight gets chaotic, he can just run around and clutch with his hooks, with insane accuracy, with the right clicks. He's got a great sense for when he should use whole hog as well. There were only a few times that we saw him play it in their previous playoff run, because he was mostly on Diva duty, because you could run 3 tanks at the time. And now it's his job to run both, and he's just sublime. It's him and Choyobin at the top of the league, and nobody at the moment is touching them on the off-tank role.
I wonder if there's anything that Fury cannot do. You know, we've seen him do everything.
I don't think so.
Such a jack of all.
He's a god among men.
Indeed. Well, the Spitfire will take on Gods in the Toronto Defiant as both teams play their second match of Stage 4. But Gods recently took part in another competition when he teamed up with Super, Baby Bay, and Linkser to face these 3 knuckleheads in our first ever Watchpoint game night.
Rude.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is the Watchpoint game night. We brought in your favorite players off the stage into the living room for some action against your favorite personalities. We going up against the pros. Young Super. Before the show, Hexagram said that he was concerned your brain is not fully developed enough for this game show. Our first game is called Picture This. And in Picture This, the rules are simple. You pick a clue out of this loot box, then you'll have 30 seconds to draw while your team guesses. And begin.
Oh, that's
you know, it's not fair because she's an actual artist, dude.
Pirate ship.
Pirate ship.
Oh, wow, that one, under 10 seconds. Very well done, talent team. Linkser, go. It's good, good start.
Is that Sinatra?
Super! Wow. Did not expect Zoe's record to be broken already.
It's a bird. It's a bird on a tire.
Bird singing.
Bird tire.
The kiwi.
Flamingo emu on a tire. It's a bug.
Junkrat.
Yeah.
That's a rat. Your rat has a beak.
No.
Okay. It's a roadhog. Hook. I can't even see. The turtle? Goats? Is that goats? Is that goats? What is that?
And we're out of time, baby. So close. Do you want to tell us what that was?
It was supposed to be feeder, and that's a dog, and that's a man.
Turtle.
It was my best chance, dude. It was my best chance.
Square-ish. Payload. Okay.
What? Oh, yeah. That's going to be a fun one for you. All right, draw. Picture this.
So, and then he has
Stop talking.
What's McCree's gun, dude?
Peacemaker?
No, bullets.
And we're out of time! Super! Oh.
It was whole hog.
Oh.
Dude, that's so hard.
What? Don't look at me.
Dude, they had the easiest ones.
So far, it's your pros trailing. 1 point to our talents, 3. Are you guys ready for the second game? We're playing charades. You're gonna act out the favorite word that we've put on your note card, but no mouthing the words. Go!
Reinhardt Shield.
Squat. Charge.
I think you're supposed to act it in there.
Reinhardt charge. Shift charge.
What
are you doing, man?
What tank line?
Giannis? I mean, who just charges
And we're
everywhere?
out of
Come
time.
on, it's Bumper!
Oh, bumper.
God!
That was terrible.
That was awful.
That was awful.
Let's go.
Medicine.
Mercy?
Mercy beam.
Mercy.
Pocketing.
Mercy beam. Pocket. Healing.
Okay, right. So what is the
What? Healing. What?
Farah rain from the
Pharmacy.
He's gonna be good at this one. I feel it. I got this. All right, Hex, are you ready?
I'm like literally halfway there.
Go. 30 seconds on the clock. 2-second champion.
This game is actually
He cheated.
rigged,
He said
bro.
he was halfway
When
there.
you look like the character, you're halfway there. All
This
right.
is rigged.
I mean, we would have had it without the hints.
Super time.
Okay, so
DPS.
video maker.
Widow headshot.
Lighting.
Widow players.
It's a player. Okay, it's a video.
And we're out of time.
What?
It was bird ring. How am I supposed to do bird ring?
Just do a bird and then do a ring.
I tried Bren's approach.
Friend failed.
Dude.
All right. He's picking the good cards.
Teabagging.
Tactical crouch.
Tactic crouch. We'll accept it. We'll accept it. 30 seconds on the clock.
What? Speed boost? Booping? Boops? Oh,
Oops. Well done. Well done. Pros lock in a 3rd point.
You know, we're gonna recuperate, talk over our strategies. We're gonna get right back into it.
I'm actually playing with some absolute morons.
I think the worst drawing was Babyface. The dog didn't really resemble a dog.
I do know, however, though, the pro players are absolutely terrible. They should stick to playing the games.
Is 100% rigged?
It doesn't look good, and I'm feeling the jitters already.
I think I carried my weight, unlike other people in our team.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. After our first 2 games, it's going to be our pros 3, talent 5.
I'm not very impressed.
What do you mean?
You're not very impressive. You're being hard.
sorry, what's the score right now?
Listen, buddy. It's a team effort, and you're not a part of the team. They're caring.
Oh man, it is anyone's game. Well, guys, we'll have part 2 of Watchpoint Game Night next week on the pre-show. But next up on today's show is the best moments from Week 1 in Emote Control. This is the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Sinatra and Omen have controlled the point. There it is. Flash gonna drop it in. There was no trick open to save them. It's 4. Yep. Flanner knew where he had to be, and Trick Open looks around with this, mate. You can't be everywhere at once, but someone had to stop the barrage with a nano boost. It was never going to happen. For a big fight.
Yeah, looking for the shot, misses on the Violet. An absolutely crucial pick if he can find it. Full hog from Youngjin though. With his takedown Rascal now pushes up, looks for Super. And they will be able to find that pick. Youngjin's gonna be pulled in. Wraps around, he does the 180 hook on the block!
It's always good.
It's all like we just saw. Valiant wasting no time and jumping right back in there for the aggression. Great move on the Goose Wave. Send into the team, but they've got the grab. Oh man, we've seen that one before. And that is gonna be a 4K with the Dragon Strike.
With so much fighting close up. Oh, are you kidding me? An amplification matrix already, and here comes San Francisco. What a shatter! Oh, they don't call the shock for nothing, Matt.
Come in at the last moment. Luffy lining up, Coma on the Moira now. Here comes DM. The EMP could be the difference maker. Gets it off, and there's the ding with the barrage. EMP barrage will deliver.
It's time now for the most emote-worthy moments from week 1. It's State Farm's Emote Control. Starting off with this Hurek Widow 4K on Junkertown. It's a breath of fresh air that we all needed. Oh man, this was the type of moment that much more common last season. And Widow is back to sniping and roll lock in place. I couldn't be happier, but what about you guys? How you like this?
Love to see it.
This was my face when I saw Hurek being fielded to begin with.
No, that was my face. That is my face.
It literally is your face.
Potato Josh.
I see some Bay champs down there.
Yeah, it was a sick play, and honestly, nobody expected it from Hurek.
All right, moving on. Some of the league's best personalities were on full display here in week 1. That Poco stash was beautiful. Gesture and Super had some epic walkouts. And Stratus showed us his flower child chic with some sweet shades. I loved it. Look at Super.
I love it. It's so good. I mean, you can tell the players are just loving this meta.
Oh, yeah.
They all get to come out. They get to play their roles. It's what they were hired for in the first place.
Yeah, they're loving it.
Yeah, it's great.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm just...
Why is your sign so big?
I don't know. I really don't know. That's the only reason why.
All right, guys, moving along. Look at the big brain on Logix. He based the Pharah back with Spawn, swaps the McCree, then dusts that fool with a flash bang. This is currently the most popular clip on our Twitch channel, but for a good reason, of course.
Oh, yeah. This was Logix's face when he saw the opportunity.
Why was Stratus in their sport?
I don't know.
I don't know. I literally don't know.
Throwing. Give him a fine. slap a little fine on the
They still won.
That sounds fine.
We talked yesterday about how players are still getting used to the new heroes. And in Short Force case, returning to old heroes. Watch these Cliff Boys. This is only funny when the pros do it, not when Bryn Dragon Blades into traffic on Oasis.
I don't do that. That's false.
See it. He tweeted about it as well. Like that's one of those moments where I just hope the camera isn't on you, but it definitely is.
Unfortunately, we have Twitch All Access where everybody can literally see everything that you do wrong ever. So they never escape.
All right, guys, this one is just for me, guys. My boy Corey with the Reaper 4K on Busan. He won't admit it, but I actually showed him how to perfectly time that Death Blossom. I taught him everything he knows. You know what, Corey? Solid execution. I like that, man. Just like I showed you.
I'm pretty sure this was
Why
you.
are ours so much bigger than yours?
I don't know. I have a little tiny Bless RNG. I'm like,
and we've got
little
massive
cute
Bless RNG.
I'm pretty sure
it harder.
this was Malik in the break.
It was.
Stage 3 and Stage 4, presumably.
Yep.
It was your prayers that brought Reaper back into the meta.
Yo, Corey for MVP, baby. Corey for MVP. I loved it. All right, guys. That's it for State Farm's Emote Control, but we're just getting started here. Our match of the week between Shanghai and Seoul is less than 10 minutes away. We've got our predictions next on the Watchpoint pre-show.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Peep, the Shanghai Dragons are Stage 3 champions, looking to bounce back from a loss against the Vancouver Titans earlier this week. Currently sitting at number 8 in the standings, hoping they can make their way back up to the top. And then we have the Seoul Dynasty, who also took a loss earlier this week to the San Francisco Shock, one of the deepest benches in the league. It's going to be interesting to see what looks they have today coming into this matchup against the Dragons. And here are Our Analyst Sunday Fun Day predictions. Brent is keeping it Shankster with the Dragons over Seoul in the match of the week. Everyone likes London, Vancouver, and Chengdu to win it easy. Let's see the Shanghai versus Seoul episode of Two Brits Bickering, starring Brent and Sideshow.
I'm going to talk first because last time you took all my time for 30 seconds. It was very mean. I'm upset with you. But I'm going to be going with the Dragons because I personally believe that they've got a better grasp on the meta than a lot of people realize.
They have never won on Anubis or Hollywood.
Ooh. And I think today is the day.
Okay. All right. I think Seoul have an advantage on control as well because they're Reaper.
Where's the Bless RNG sign? Bring it up. Bring
Are
it
you
up.
just praying that your prediction comes true now?
A little bit, yeah.
That's desperate.
Yeah, I won't lie to you, Josh. The maps, they took me for a blinder there, but I still have faith in Shanghai. I think they're a stronger team over
it was
Seoul.
a different meta, to be fair, as well.
I can't believe we're still using the phrase, today's the day with Shanghai.
Yeah, I mean,
It feels weird.
With Brent, he just goes for a mad punt anyway.
Right, well, guys, that does it for the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. Enjoy the matches. We'll see you at halftime.